All right, Mount Rudmore here, and I am back talking about BB24. Um, when I was last here, Michael had just been evicted in the double eviction, and yeah, we're all still kind of dealing with just the shock wave of it. I mean, like it wasn't shocking that he was evicted, considering he did not have HOH or veto, but it was just shocking that he was vulnerable this late in the game. Good morning, Scarlet Rain 88. It is just barely morning where I am. It's 12:17 a.m. But yeah, Michael's out. Turner's HOH reign was this particular HOH reign of his was short-lived because we now have a new head of household, and wouldn't you know it, just as I predicted, it was Monte. This further proves my belief that being afraid of all female alliances is stupid and dripping with sexism. So yeah, as soon as he won, I'm just like, you know, probably Brittany and Alyssa. He doesn't trust Brittany anymore. He and Alyssa never really been super close. And I was thinking, you know, Brittany probably the target. But I figured that out pretty quickly. In fact, it was what I predicted even before he won. I was just thinking like if Monty wins, it's probably gonna be Brittany and Alyssa. So, there wasn't really much to think about in that regard. So where my mind went to was um, Taylor, if she were to win the veto and use it on one of the nominees, Turner would go up automatically. And you know, you know me, I live for maximum chaos, and I was really hoping that would happen. Um, also, I wasn't too sure about this at first, but I mean, I had heard that the HOH competition was horror themed, which they have done in the past, and you know, Taylor, she had to bow out of this competition because when we finally got to see it um, Sunday night in the episode, like just as the lights were preparing to go out, because she had to work in the dark, even as even in the lead up to the lights going out, Taylor had a look of pure terror on her face. So yeah, and apparently this comes from apparently in childhood someone she knew, I think a classmate, was murdered. So she's not much of a horror fan. And this was literally a murder themed competition. Like the murderer is gonna come in to try to get you. Like, yeah, I don't really blame her for that. I probably would have been not too thrilled either. I mean, like I don't do haunted houses in general, but like I don't even have that existential trauma. So I definitely do not fault Taylor for bowing out of that one. But as it turns out, Monty only beat Brittany by 9 seconds. 15-15 for Monty, 15-24 for Brittany. And just watching it was so frustrating because I saw her, like, what she had, the way the competition works, Scarlett, was they had to board up all these doors. Like they had to find a board in the dark and then find where the door was, and they had to place the board over it so that the murderer could not get in. So Brittany found a board and she found the door, but like it was like these two hinge things. Well, I guess they weren't really hinges. It just like they came up like this, and you have to place the board like across them. So Brittany was trying to put it up the wrong way. Like she had the right side of the board trying to go on the left handle, and she was at that for more than 9 seconds. So if she'd gotten that right the first time, she would have won HOH. Oh, that must have been so frustrating. Yeah, it was pretty frustrating to watch, especially like hearing that she only lost by 9 seconds and knowing she was the target. It's just like, oh boy. That happened a lot last season where the person who just barely lost HOH was taken out that week. And it happened this season with Mira. Turner beat her in that competition by half a second. And then she got blindsided and a half. Yeah. And week 3, the good old days. But yeah, that was that competition. Taylor was talking before nominations. Taylor thinks that Michael is going to win America's favorite. And honestly, I think there's a chance of that happening now with the way he left. People people enjoy the the storm out. So yeah. I I just I just need Taylor to win America's favorite because I need to see the look on so many people's faces. He does stand a chance at that, even if he did leave like a punk. Yeah. But it's like I need to see the look on Terrence's face, on Jasmine's face, and even the pre-jury's face. Although they by now they should have seen just how beloved Taylor is. Terrence is the one I want to see the most. That man will probably just walk off stage when they reveal it. OMG, I can imagine the look on Jasmine's face if Taylor wins it, and it's giving me joy. Honestly, like in the jury segment we got on uh on the double eviction episode, like Jasmine seems to have come off the haterade. She's like speaking rather highly of Taylor now. So I I definitely think that Taylor could very well get Jasmine's jury vote, depending on who she's up against. If she's up against Turner, Taylor will definitely have Jasmine's vote. Anyway, we get to the nominees. Monte nominates Melissa and Brittany. No surprise. About time. Only took her almost 2 months. Yeah. But yeah, Monty pretty much said beforehand, yeah, Alyssa and Brittany are going up. So, you know, there were no surprises. Um, Alyssa talks to Taylor, tells her that Brittany is still trying to throw them under the bus regarding this girls' alliance. And Alyssa swears that she has Taylor's back. And a while back they did make a final two with each other while they were drunk, but just with how much of a liability that that Britney's become, it might be better for Taylor. I was thinking it might have been better for Taylor to stick with Alyssa, even if Britney's the one that actually has some competition wins to her name and Alyssa does not. Um, we get a cam talk from Brittany. She says she truly wanted to go to the end with Michael, which we already knew. She came in here wanting to make friends, but admits this isn't the best place for that. I'm like, you know, I'm not saying no friendships come out of the Big Brother house because when all is said and done, they all do tend to be friends with each other. But you shouldn't go in with the express purpose of making friends. And I did not like this comment. She says that she now has sympathy for Nicole Franzel from BB24 when Cody Cauliflower took her out at the end, betrayed their final two because Cody wanted to win. I think he probably still would have beat Franzel, but I don't think it would have been unanimous. But yeah, she has sympathy for her now when before she thought she was a brat. And I'm just like, no, Brittany, you were right the first time. Franzel is very much a brat, and still is. And this also irked me. She feels alone now, and it especially hurts that Taylor is making her feel alone, since Taylor, of all people, should know how it feels to be alone. But Taylor's not making much of an effort to be with her right now. And it's like Taylor was comforting you at the end of the double eviction episode, I believe. So, what more do you want her to do? I mean, if she wins the veto, she could pull you down just to take out Turner. Like, will that be enough for you? I hope so. So, that that thing I said about maybe Taylor should stick with Alyssa. Taylor decides, nah. She tells Monte that Alyssa was the one trying to start the female alliance. Of course, she's really trying to protect herself as best she can. Taylor asks what would happen if Brittany or Alyssa were to win veto, and Monte hints at that it would be Turner, but he says that it would be ideal if Taylor were to win the veto and save Brittany, and then Monte's biggest threat to winning goes out, and Monte gets no blood on his hands, which is valid. Like I don't understand this whole mentality of not wanting to get blood on your hands, especially if it's a big target. Like you want that on your resume, don't you? Like I would bathe in the blood of my enemies. Turner, for that matter, he's had three HOHs and he has taken out a big threat every time. I mean, he just took out Michael. Before that, he took out Kyle, although he probably wouldn't have if things hadn't gone the way they did. And then week three, they were sniffing out Amira in the game she was playing. And then Turner was like, let's do it. Let's get rid of her. And they did. It was amazing. Turner makes big moves. Monty, you should not be afraid of making a big move to take him out. And Monty said that he was leaning towards Brittany being the target if nominations were to stay the same. Again, already knew that. I was thinking, it'll probably just be Monte or Turner winning this veto, and it'll be a pretty boring week. But on Saturday, they did the veto early again. The last time they did the veto early, Brittany won. And what do you know? Brittany won again. Boy, Brittany has had her best in the early morning hours. So, yeah. She she has a very long conversation with Taylor. And Taylor is pretty convinced that she's going up. And I'm thinking, yeah, she is. I didn't really believe Monty for a second when he said, yeah, it'll probably be Turner that goes up. Didn't believe him. This is why. And sure enough, Monty tells Turner, I'm not putting you up. And I mean, I'm not surprised because I'm talking about how this would be a huge move, but big picture, it's not good for his game to do this. Because Monty will not be able to play in the next HOH. All three of the women would be trying to take him out. So if he doesn't win the next veto, if he didn't win the next veto in that situation, he would be he would basically be screwed. So, you know, I can't fault him for for this line of thinking because it is best for his game. Not best for our entertainment, but he does still say that he wants Alyssa out over Taylor. He thinks that Taylor leaving on his HOH would really screw up his game, and he thinks that she'd be on board to go for Brittany, which Turner agrees to. So I don't think Taylor would do that, but that seems to be their train of thought. Um, Brittany goes on to pitch to Monty about putting up Turner and just being like, what a big move it would be. And, he humors her, and, the whole time I doubted he was serious. I'm like, there's no way he's gonna actually do that. And then afterwards, he has a cam talk where he confirms, no, I'm not putting him up. He says he doesn't trust her, and he wants Alyssa out and would vote Alyssa out if it were to come down to a tie. Now, Turner, he's been closer to Alyssa. The last few weeks, he's been not wanting Taylor in the game. So I think he could very well decide to vote Taylor out. Brittany, I was like, no, there's no way Brittany votes to evict Taylor. But then the fear started creeping into my mind just because of how messy and chaotic Brittany has been lately. So now it's just like, she probably doesn't. But I'm getting to the point where I can't really shake the thought. So I'm just like, I really need Thursday to get here just because I'm tired of not knowing. Taylor can't go. She's so close to the end. I will say this, with how Taylor started, it it didn't seem like she was going to make it past week 2. And here she is in the final 5. Just to go from where she started to 5th place would still be amazing in and of itself. But yeah, I'm not ready for it to end either. I want her to get one more win. I want her to get another HOH or a veto, or both. Win an HOH and veto at Final Four is pretty awesome. It would be incredible, but if she won the whole thing, it would be so much better. Oh, I if Taylor actually does win this game, I'm gonna celebrate in some way. Like maybe I'll finally commit to getting a tattoo. Like there's a tattoo idea I've had for a while, but I've been like, I don't know. If Taylor wins, I think I might commit to that. And I mean, if she gets there, if she gets to the final two, I I think she definitely beats Brittany, Alyssa, and Turner. Monte, I don't know. Monte would, her and Monte would be very close. I think it could even be 5-4. Very bold of you. Oh, thanks. And I'm seeing a lot of anti-Taylor crap starting to make its way around Twitter. Like, I wasn't seeing a lot of this stuff for a while, and I enjoyed it. But now that we're getting to the end, the idiots are coming out of the woodwork saying she's not playing a good game. You know, like she has a good personality, but that doesn't mean she's playing a good social game. Like, you can't play a good social game without a good personality. Okay? Yes, she has only one win so far, but I didn't watch season two, but from what I've heard, Dr. Will didn't win anything, and he won the game, and he's considered one of the best players of all time because of his strategy and his social game. Like he was a mastermind. Taylor is playing an amazing social game, and it just seems like anyone saying otherwise is just looking for a fight. So, like, I literally block anybody that says they don't like Taylor. Like, you know, I don't need that negativity in that. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. If I did, I'd watch the news. Sassy stuff. Okay, now this is where we get to the gross part of the update. Monty and Turner are talking about Brittany. And they talk about how she says that she wants to get to the end because she needs $40,000 to start her family. And she has talked about this before. Like wants to do like some kind of treatment or something. And they found it disgusting. They use the word disgusting a lot. Monty in particular. Disgusting that she brought personal stuff up for a game. Like for game reasons, I mean. And I'm just like, everyone's there for a reason. Like it reminds me of last year when they're all just kind of looking down on Hannah. Like, oh, what does she need the money for? She's young. I mean, she was in college. They knew that. Well, they thought she was in college. She didn't tell them she was in medical school at 21 because then they think she was too smart. But yeah, it's like, really, Derek F? What do you need the money for? Your father was Joe Frazier, one of the most famous boxers of all time. Did you really run out of his money already? It's just like anytime I hear someone get crapped on for and Tiffany. They didn't like Tiffany saying that she wanted the money for her son. Why does this only happen to women? Women are not allowed to talk about what they want the money for in the Big Brother house. But Monty is allowed to talk about how he wants the money for a freaking podcast. Oh yeah, just what we need. Another alpha dude bro with a podcast. Yeah, just what we need. I'm just thinking there's There's a real need in the market for a muscle-bound man to have a podcast. Also, you need $750,000 for a podcast. Like, you just have a computer and spend like $50 on like a microphone. Maybe another 50 like an O-ring if you want to like film yourself doing your podcast. Yeah, here I am on basically my own podcast, being like, "Oh, just what we need, another guy doing a podcast." But like, I know what Monty's gonna talk about if he has his own podcast. It's gonna be gross alpha crap. Ugh. So yeah, that rubbed me the wrong way. And like Monty just stays pressed about it for so long that it was dripping with sexism. And I'm like, this is the Monty we saw week 1 and week 2. And it's like I thought you got better, but no, he did, but it didn't take. Same with Kyle. Same with Turner. Yeah, that's just anyway. Once they finally get Brittany's name out of their mouth, well, when they get Brittany's name out of their mouth for a few moments, they bring up Taylor apparently wanting a final three with the two of them, and Turner says he's on board with it. And all I can think is, yay, our third all-male final two in a row. Last year it was Xavier and Derek F. Before that it was Cody Cauliflower and Enzo. There'll be four male winners in a row because before Cody Cauliflower there was Blockhead Jackson, and they do lock it in, the three of them, final three. And Taylor does not look even remotely excited about this at all because he's just kind of feeling like, yay, my game fate is in the hands of these two men. Huzzah! Honestly, Taylor, just agree to it for the week so that they decide to keep you, and then next week you bounce that check. Win HOH, win veto, or let Brittany win veto. Just make Brittany the sole vote to evict, and then Monte or Turner is out, and then you only have to deal with one of them. I would go for Turner first on a threat level because just I think Turner has really proven himself in in competitions that require any sort of focus, like physical or mental. Like he's pretty good with both. He's a very zen dude. So I would uh I would go for Turner first, but Turner can play for the next HOH. So if he's HOH, but Brenny or Taylor manages to win veto, take out Monty. Oh yeah, and there was also this. Monty has a long conversation with Brittany, just going on and on about how he can't trust her, and like he's just talking about it in every conceivable way to make it her fault. It's not his. It's just like everything she did was wrong. So yeah, that was fun to listen to for a long time, and it's just like there's nothing she can say because he already decided that she can't be trusted, and like that's just the narrative in his head now. He's making it her fault because, like I said, he's super sexist. I'm sticking with it. I'm not coming off this train. I'll stop saying he's sexist when he stops acting sexist. How about that? Is that fair? I think that's fair. Anyway, we we limp along to the veto meeting. Brittany uses it on herself. Taylor is the replacement. No one is surprised. Well, people were surprised somehow. And I was just like, all the signs were there already. You could have figured it out the moment Brittany won veto. And if that wasn't enough, then you also could have figured it out when Monte told Turner, "I'm not putting you up." So I was like, there were plenty of signs, people. This was gonna happen. So yeah, the focus now is to just first of all make it to Thursday without going insane from all these repetitive sexist conversations from Monte and Turner, and then just hope Alyssa still goes because it's time. Okay, just she doesn't need to be here anymore. She's had plenty of time to win something, and she hasn't. Alyssa has been dragged to this part of the game. Well, not even dragged. Like it's like they forget she's here, so they haven't felt much of a need to target her. The only time they did was week 4 when Monty nominated her in Indy. And then Smelvis and Kyle won the veto, and like they were talking about it. The leftovers were talking about it, and they were like, maybe we should just let Alyssa go this week. But then Smelvis got it in his head that like like the only way that he got in his head that Monty was lying to him about Nicole being safe if they were to go up, and well, her and Taylor were to go up. So Smells was like, "Oh, okay." So Monty told him not to use it, and he used it, and Nicole and Taylor went up, and Nicole was evicted, and he looked like the biggest idiot in Big Brother history. So yeah, that was the only time they were actually thinking about taking Alyssa out. I'm surprised Alyssa's made it this far with no wins at all. Well, at some point, like at a certain point, people look at that and it's kind of appealing. Like, do I want to sit next to this person at the end because they have no wins and no resume? But it's a little different in Alyssa's case than it was last year with Derek F., who came in second with 0 wins to his name. Because Alyssa has plenty of friends in the jury house. Xavier and Derek F. last year, they were both in the cookhouse. So they were in the same alliance, and, you know, of the other people in jury that were not in the cookout, they just decided to vote for who played the best game. And between the two of them, only Xavier had even played the game. So it was pretty easy. And so Xavier won unanimously. But that was actually Michael's reason for wanting to take out Terrence, because he felt like people would try to take Terrence to the end because they could beat him. But first of all, Terrence had 2 wins. And second of all, you really should have taken that shot at Turner or Monte. Just saying. Brittany warned you. Brittany warned you. So, we have now gotten some speculation about what the next HOH competition is going to be. And it's going to be a staple. It's one where they hold on to something. Like they hold on to I don't want to say a rope, because it's like sometimes it's a rope, sometimes it's just like, I don't even know. Just some kind of dangling thing. Like, and they have to hold on as long as they can. And they're on a thing that's spinning around, and they get slammed into something poking out. So like they bump into that, and then it like can cause them to spin or lose their grip. It's a classic competition. They did it last year with 8 people. It was when Tiffany won her second HOH. Um, Honestly, I think Turner is going to win this HOH. I think he's built for it. This is another one that requires focus, physical focus, and yeah, I think he'll win it. Brittany, I expect to drop in probably 20 minutes or so. Um, I imagine it's going to be Taylor who stays. So let's just assume Taylor is staying. Um, I imagine that Taylor, she can probably hang on 40, 45 minutes on that thing. But yeah, I hate to say it, but I think Turner's winning the next HOH. If it is that competition, I wouldn't last long on a comp like that. LOL. Well, last year Derek F. He here's what they did. They started it with like a couple minutes left in the episode. Like they all got on and were lifted up, and like they showed it for like a minute, and already Derek F was struggling. And then it goes to commercial, and comes back, and Derek F is no longer hanging. He's just sitting off to the side. He lasted about 5 minutes. Or wait, no, was that the? Wait, no, I think it was a minute 42 seconds because I see that meme going around the internet a lot, going around BB Twitter a lot. Like elapsed time, a minute 42 seconds with him just lying in a heap on the ground. I think you can at least outlast him. I believe in you. But yeah, that's what I think happens. Rennie drops first, then Taylor. Turner wins it, and we just got to rely on one of the ladies winning the veto, or somehow Turner decides that that Monte is like more of a jury threat. Like, you know, does he decide to take Monte out because Monte would beat him in a final two? I mean, honestly, I think Turner would only beat Brittany at the end. So if uh, if Brittany can plant that seed, Taylor and Monte both beat you at the end, just to leave Brittany as the vote to evict. I think that's her move. If Turner were to win HOH, in fact, I think that's her move. Really, if anybody wins HOH, like just say it to whoever's HOH. Like just be like, they all beat you at the end. I might not. That's that's really all she's got at this point. All right. It's been a pretty slow day for updates just because this time of the season it typically is. So let's see if anything has happened. Oh, we got some stuff. Well, the last update I saw was Brittany and Taylor like just talking to each other, and it's like I'm feeling pretty good now that Brittany's gonna vote to keep Taylor, and I think it's better for Brittany to keep Taylor because otherwise she's going to have to rely on Alyssa, who has no wins, or Taylor, who has one. But it was the wall comp, so that's a pretty big win. I mean, this is if that is the next HOH, it is another endurance competition. So you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm underestimating Taylor a little too much. I don't know. I'm trying to manage my expectations. Anyway, Bernie's talking to the camera, saying, "Earlier this afternoon, you saw me wondering how much Michael betrayed me. I said I was 75% sure that he did not betray me. Now I am 0% sure. WTF, I don't know how to feel." I mean, he did what he had to do to survive. He just threw everything at the wall. And she says, "I know Monte is against me. Turner, I am still going to assume is against me, even though he is very good at lying and trying to convince me otherwise. I have fallen for it before. I'm not falling for it again." Valid. What do I do now that everyone knows I am not who I have said I am? This is a situation I did not anticipate finding myself in. You know, you didn't have to say anything. Why did I ever tell Michael? That was silly. I thought he knew. I could say that I thought he knew. I don't want Taylor to think that I didn't trust her just as much. She is the one that I am worried about being hurt. Well, I've been seeing a lot of people getting on Brittany for not caring much about Taylor's feelings lately. I I didn't really believe that. I always kind of felt like she was just kind of well, she's been in a spiral for about a week and a half now. But I think she sees that Taylor Taylor's good with her, and especially now with Michael gone, she needs Taylor. So, yeah, I'm glad to hear that from Brittany that she's worried about Taylor being hurt now. I I suspected that she did still care the most about Taylor of everyone in that house. Like she cared about Taylor more than everybody else. But it's nice to hear. And that's about it. Um, Thank you, Scarlett, for watching me. I appreciate it. Uh, Probably won't be able to do a stream tomorrow because my dad's not working. He usually works on Tuesday, but he's got something else going on. Um, and then I'm going to lunch with him probably. But Wednesday and Thursday I will be back gaming, either Uncharted 4 or Red Dead Redemption 2. And also, I'm going to try to start doing more late night streams because I think it'll be a little bit tricky for me to do them during the day in the near future. So yeah, I'm going to do a few at night. Thanks for the stream and thank you for having me. You're very welcome, Scarlett. I always appreciate your company. But yes, that will do it. Alyssa and Taylor are on the block. I think Alyssa is going to be evicted. I'm feeling pretty good that that is going to happen. But this season, more than ever, expect the unexpected. So yeah, just always be ready for anything. All right, peace out.